I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on GBN, we're sharing an extraordinary story of courage, faith, and the power of the human spirit. We're talking about an amazing book. It is called Journey of Resilience, and it is written by a terrific author by the name of Dominique. She takes readers on a powerful odyssey of survival and self-discovery, from a childhood marked by hardship to a life transformed through perseverance and faith. This deeply moving book reminds us that even through pain, loss, and darkness, the human soul has the strength to rise, rebuild, and rediscover hope. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her on TV today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Dominique, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you for having me.
It's a real honor and a privilege to have you on the show. This book is fantastic, a very powerful and moving story. It follows Pavlina through some heartbreaking experiences. How much of it was drawn from real life events?
Pretty much all of it. There's nothing added. Everything that's in the book I have experienced, and I tried to put it down as honestly and accurately as I possibly could. I wanted it to be the real story of me. So,
and an odyssey beginning in communist Czechoslovakia, right?
Yeah, that's where I was born. And when I was 15, was a year after the Soviet invasion, 1968. We left in 1969. And we pretty much have decided from very early on we wanted to go to America. Mm-hmm. There were choices. We could have stayed in Europe. We could have gone to Germany. A lot of people went to Australia, but that seemed so far away for everyone in Europe. And we were lucky that we were actually accepted to emigrate to US. So we were very happy.
What was life like once you got to the United States?
It was difficult because back in Czechoslovakia, my parents were pretty well set. We had our own home. My dad had a pretty well-paying job. My mom as well. We were going overseas on vacations every year, which most of the Czechs were not able to at that time. Under communism, it was very difficult to go and leave the country. So we were doing well. We didn't have money issues, and the only thing was the regime. It just, once we have the Russian troops there, and they were there for a whole year, and it didn't look like they were going to go anywhere. My parents decided that it was time to go and to leave everything behind, including our grandparents, who were at the time actually possibly going to lose the house that the two of them have built, because just the previous year, my grandparents signed the house over to my parents. And now that we were defecting, the government would typically take over all your possessions, including the house. So they were almost ready to lose the house. But so we had, my parents had a lot on their shoulders once we came here, and leaving everything behind, coming here with 2 suitcases filled with clothes. And I think my parents had like $80 that they were able to exchange. We couldn't take any money out because that would raise suspicion. And the government was confiscating many passports when they were suspicious that you may leave the country. So it was a little scary, a little adventurous for me as a kid. But I'm sure for my parents, they carried most of the burden. But things have adjusted. You try to make the best of it. My mom was crying. I remember her crying the first year, missing her friends, missing her lifestyle. But eventually, my dad is more He was more of a adventurous type. So to him, he could survive in the woods. He could survive
Mm.
anywhere.
Yeah.
But for a woman, it's a little more difficult. We expect a little more luxury.
Yeah.
Uh, so I think it was a year later, there was possibility of amnesty to come back, no questions asked. You will not be prosecuted, just come back, because the country of 16 million people had lost quite a bit of the population, and mostly people who were educated. So it
Mhm.
was hard on the country itself. Many of them would leave and they would go back. But we were kind of on the verge. But I'm thinking to myself as a child, please stay. I like it here. I like the music. I like the friends. We were learning English, getting around. And so for me as a kid was more or less adventure. And I wanted to stay. So thank God that's what happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, the beginnings were not easy, but that's for everyone who leave their country and leave everything behind. You have to adjust. There's just no other way.
Yeah. It's hard to go from a luxurious lifestyle to an immigrant
Yes,
lifestyle with little
yes,
money. Um, it's interesting. You escaped from a communist regime. My wife escaped from a communist regime, and she often says that communism is such an easy sell. It sounds so
it is.
good when you
Yes,
talk about it. Everybody will be
yes.
equal. Everybody
Equal.
will have everything,
Yeah.
and nobody has anything other than the power elite in reality.
Hmm.
Now that we see communism and socialism creeping into
Hmm.
this country, and New York City is poised to elect a mayor who is a socialist slash communist, does it frighten you at all?
It scares the daylights out of me, to be perfectly honest, because the people who are for it generally have no idea what it's like for
Yeah.
real. They just have no clue. It sounds good, everyone equal, everything's balanced. But when you take that away, what what drives you to become better,
Mhm.
greater, to do more? Is that it's being having more, giving more, sharing more. And in communism, you can't do that.
Yeah.
We had, like, my dad, he was running a large corporation, but he was only running it. He could not own it. The government owned it. So
Yeah.
what would happen is people in higher positions, they would just allow people to take from the company, cheat, you know, take a day off, take a half a day off. No one was basically penalized for any of those things because the government was paying.
Yeah.
So there was a old saying, we pretended to work and they pretended to pay us. And that's pretty much what it come down to. It's nobody really cared. But when
Yeah.
it's your own company, you do care if your employees are there. You do
Right.
care if they're knowledgeable and they're doing their work and they're the best at that particular field. You do care because it's your company. But when it's somebody else's company that really is authority that is sort of non-existent, they never come over to check. They never come on to ask questions, or they just they exist, but they're not visible. Nobody cares. The people below you, the people above you, nobody cares.
Right.
And
Right.
and the country was slowly going bankrupt.
Yeah.
Our streets were in a mess. The architectural beautiful buildings in Prague. It took years to repair them. It's like everything was in slow motion,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's the basis of it. It scares me. It's a worrisome thought that this may possibly, God forbid, happen here. I hope it does not, because it would take away so much, and people would eventually come to the conclusion that this does not work.
Right.
It just
Right.
doesn't work. I don't know where your wife came from, which country, but I'm sure she feels the same way.
Oh, yeah. She was from China, and the
Uh-huh.
intellectuals and the business owners and the landowners were all punished, and pushed to the
Yeah.
bottom of society,
Yeah.
and you have no freedom. The
No.
government is extremely corrupt and they only enforce their laws
Yeah.
when they're looking to break someone. So it's a terrible, terrible system.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. There is no motivation for success and pushing society along. The people who are the best and the brightest are often kept down.
Yeah.
And instead of everybody having everything, nobody has anything. So,
Very
a
true.
cautionary tale, no doubt, your book is to the people in America and other parts of the world that look towards America as a beacon of
Hmm.
hope, a place of salvation, a place to go to
Yeah.
when their countries are crumbling, right?
Yes, we called America the Golden America. That
Hmm.
that was our reference to this country. And when I came here in the end of 1969, it felt like it. It
Yeah.
felt like this is the country. You can do anything, you can become anything, you can accomplish, achieve, and everything is honest. We always looked at the politicians here being ethical and honest. Of course, over the years, you realize that there's a little corruption here and there anywhere you go.
Hmm.
But you have to pick and choose. You have to really um, dig a little deeper before you vote for anyone to see who they really are. It's not
Exactly.
it's not that obvious sometimes.
Exactly, exactly. You're not
Yeah.
even allowed to move from municipality to municipality in these
Hmm.
communist countries. Here, you can
No,
pick up and
no,
go to Alaska tomorrow if you want and set up shop there and you're living in Alaska. That
no,
doesn't happen in communist countries.
no.
You don't have that kind of freedom. Everything's controlled. Let's talk about your book and what you
Okay.
hope readers take away from your story, Pavlina's story.
Uh, because I went through so many various different types of challenges throughout my life, I'm hoping that whoever reads the book perhaps will gain some strength to deal with their own challenges in their own lives. It's being married in a marriage and be feeling stuck in a
Hmm.
marriage that is not benefiting you, and you're not happy.
Hmm.
So many young women remain. They know this is not good for them, this is not good for their children, and they still stay. And I always had the belief, if it's that bad, you need to come out. Maybe it'll be a little difficult in the beginning, maybe a little scary because you're going into unknown, but eventually you will come out and it will benefit you and you'll be glad that you did. Unfortunately, I stayed in that marriage 23 years.
Hmm.
And it took me that long to wake up and to seek something better for myself.
Yeah.
Um, in the process, I was basically disconnected from my children, but sometimes there is a price to pay.
Hmm.
And it sounds cold, me saying that, but I know they're good, they're okay, they're good human beings. And I hope the teachings that I have given them in their, our short time together did influence them some. Um,
Hmm.
there has been so many different areas. Me being stuck in a divorce for 10 years, um, that's a journey I probably would have shortened today as well.
Yeah.
Me trying to take my own life, that's a lesson right then and there. Of course, leaving the country is that's a scary thing, but at the time I was too young to make decisions for myself. I had to go with my parents. Um, but it's eventually, there was a time in my first marriage I was so controlled that I began to shoplift, and being caught and going through that situation was terrifying,
Hmm.
embarrassing, um, and it felt like I needed to keep that secret, especially from people who were close to me, because it was so embarrassing. But
Hmm.
once you face it, you basically overcome it. It no
Yeah.
longer holds anything over you. Um, and that is the freedom that we need in our lives. Every person out there, whatever your secret is, reveal it, because you'd be surprised, to the point you may be even shocked, how people around you will react. They will not judge you. They will actually embrace you. And you no longer want to be a victim. You don't want to go through a situation in your life as a victim.
Yeah.
That's not who we are. That's not what life is all about. Whatever holds you back, go after it, conquer it, deal with it, and put it behind you. That's
Mhm.
how you achieve things in life, dealing with them, head on. And I always say, very often people are challenged by many different things, but for many it's public speaking. And if you have an issue with public speaking, that's exactly where you need to go. You need to
Exactly.
challenge yourself, even if it's just a small group. Try it, go with it, and once you conquer it, you will feel so much stronger. And
Exactly.
you may have challenges in various other parts of your life. Find them and deal with them.
Yeah.
So that's what gives you strength. And I think I have learned that, because as a child, I've always been very, very shy. I wanted to be totally unnoticed, hopefully just blend in the background, even in school, just bitterly shy. And that alone is a challenging thing in life. You can't go through life hiding in the corner hoping no one will see you. You need to do just the opposite.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that people that read the book, and they may have a big challenge, a small challenge, they get some strength to conquer and just go after. And you will see how much difference that will make in your life.
Absolutely. It is a powerful message. It's almost like exposure therapy. If you're afraid of heights, climb a mountain. You'll get
Exactly.
over them, face your fears,
Yes.
like you said, face your challenges head on. The name of the book we're talking about today is called Journey of Resilience. It is an inspiring and emotional journey that reminds us all that faith, perseverance, and love can turn suffering into strength. Dominique, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Thank
I
you.
I appreciate your time, your insight, and the wonderful work on this terrific book. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford for the Global Book Network. So long for now.